In this video, we will see how to create a set data type, how to create an access set data type. We will see here. To create a set data type, I need to create a variable of s1 equal to set and open close brackets. So set keyword is required to create a set data type. Now why this one another data type is required is to store and process something like similar to set algebra. If we have studied in mathematics in school days, the similar kind of operations can be performed in this set as well. Things like union, difference, like the whole symmetric difference, all those things. So these are easy to access commands and will be useful in certain places. So to add values to set, I can assign values by way of curly braces. To create an empty set, I need to use the set command and open close brackets. To add values into a set, I need to use curly braces, and within braces I can add my values. So I am creating set 1 called as 1 to 6 numbers, and set 2 I will add another 6 numbers into set 2. So first let me create these two sets, and once I have created this, there is no output coming in here, but S1, S2 are created. To access the values of S1 and S2, to perform the methods available with set, I can keep S2 dot and it will list the methods that are available in set operation. So to add a value to any set, I can give S2 dot add, and within brackets I can put say 10, and I can print this set to see what values have got changed. So this will show obviously number 10 has got added to set 2 in its place. Next we'll see the other command. So in clear is similar to a list. It will remove all the elements in the set, so there is no need for explanation for clear command. The same applies for copy command as well, and I'm going to give set2.copy, assign it to set 3. It will create a separate copy altogether. It will not affect the changes in S3, will not affect changes in S2. If I don't give a copy command and simply assign, changes in S3 will impact changes in S2 as well. This is similar to the copy importance of copy, whatever we saw in list. It is same for set as well. So next important thing we need to understand is difference. So what I will do is I will call s2.difference s1. So it is something like subtracting values of s1 from s2. So when I do this and call this inside a print statement, this does not update s2, and hence I am putting it inside a print statement. So when I call it here, if you would observe, values from 1 to 6 are subtracted, and the remaining values 7, 8, 9, 10 are alone printed in the output of this particular return statement, this particular print statement. But when I check the original value of S2, it is not changed at all. The reason because is this S2.difference just gives the output but does not change the value of S2 itself. If at all we need the value of S2 itself to be updated, there are two simple approaches. One is assigning the value back to S2 itself, like this. Otherwise, there is one more function itself to make it happen. So that is called as S2 dot difference underscore update within bracket S1. So this will change the value of S2 itself. So in this case, it has updated the value of S2 itself, and there is no value returned to the print statement. Okay, my S2 values got updated and it has not returned anything to the console output here. So to read the values, I need to actually execute print of S2. So here I have got 7, 8, 9, 10, 1 to 6 values are subtracted from S2. Okay. So similarly we can build values for the other function. So let me recreate S2 again. It contains values from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And on top of it, let me make use of the next command. So difference, next we will see intersection. So let me complete the set oriented operations first. So here intersection with S1. So only 4, 5, 6 are 3 elements that intersects between S1 and S2, and that is the result I am expecting as well. So when I give this execute, I am able to fetch 4, 5, 6 as the result, because S1 also contains 4, 5, 6, S2 also contains 4, 5, 6. That is standing for intersection command. If I want S2 to be updated with the intersection result, then I should give intersection underscore update. The command should be positioned like this. Okay, so there is no explanation, it is same as difference update. So I'll go to the next command, that is called as symmetric difference. In symmetric difference, it is other than the intersected value, it will take all the remaining values together. So the intersected values are 4, 5, 6 here in this case. So the remaining values will be 1, 2, 3 from S1 and 7, 8, 9, 10 from S2. So these are the values expected in symmetric difference, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if at all I want this output result to be updated in S2, I can give symmetric underscore difference underscore update. If I am going to give it this way, the output result will get updated into S2 as well. So this stands for symmetric difference and symmetric difference update. So the next series of commands are union. Union is a simple operation which combines S1 and S2 all together, and provided it will not hold any duplicate elements in the set. So by default, set cannot accommodate duplicate values at all at any cost. Even at the time of creation itself, say S3, if I am going to create 1, 4, 4, 5, and if I am going to print S3, my S3 will contain only 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, and that it will keep it in ascending order by default. So in certain conditions, in certain cases it will not keep it in ascending order, but in most cases S3, when I assign 1, 4, 4, 5, at the time of storing into S3 itself, it cannot store duplicate values and it will automatically put the elements in ascending order as well. So that is the property of set which we have to remember as well. Okay. So next, the series of commands we have is update. Update is going to add elements to an existing set. Say to S2, if I want to add 2 more values, 15 and 13, and let me print S2 here. What will happen? 15 and 13. So in the ascending order, 13 and 15 have got inserted into S2. So S2.update adds multiple elements. As much as we want, we can add it into this curly braces. Even one single element we want to add, we have to give it inside the curly braces. So within this method called curved braces, I have to give this curly braces and insert the value whatever I want to insert into this set. Okay. So next commands that we have is, so we have seen update, union, symmetric we saw. We will see pop, remove one by one. So pop is going to remove my value from the list. So it is going to remove the value from my list and it will return it. So it will remove the first value. It is actually removing the first value from my set. Since it is in ascending order, it is removing the first element. So now my 4 is actually removed from set 2. The next value in place will be 5. So if I am going to execute it again, my value 5 will be removed and I can print and see the remaining values of S2. So 5 have got removed and the remaining from 6 till 15 the values are present in set 2. So that is the case of pop. So the next command, remove, what it does is we can remove a specific value from a set. Say if I want to remove value 10, I can give within brackets 10. And the value whatever we give, that has to be present in the set. If not, that statement will give an output error. So say if I want to remove 10, I will execute this and print S2. So in this case, value of 10 will be removed and the remaining set will be intact. So 10 has got removed between 9 and 13. So this is the remove command, purpose of remove command. Now the other commands in place are is, there are three commands together: is disjoint, is subset and is superset. So let us see one by one: is disjoint, is subset and is superset. So first we have to understand what are these properties actually. So is superset, when I am going to call it, my set should contain the subset values. For example, say I'll create the sets again. Say my S1 is of 1 to 6 values and my S2 is of going to be values 4, 5, 6. If I'm going to call S2 dot is subset of S1, this is true. So this, the output of is subset is commands is going to be true or false only. So in this case, if I'm going to call this, S2 is actually a subset of S1 because 4, 5, 6 values are part of S1 also. So that is why it is called as a subset and the output is true. If I'm going to check S1 is superset of S2, the other way around. S1 is called superset because it is the master, it is containing all the values and additional values on top of S2. So S1 is naturally a superset of S2. This will also return true. If I'm going to check the other way, then the value will be false in this case because it is not subset. Values in S1 are not present in S2. So S1 cannot be a subset of S2. So just I am repeating the multiple different views of subset and superset. And there is one more check called as is disjoint. So disjoint meaning there should not be any overlapping elements between two different sets. But here there are overlapping, there are intersecting elements. So this is not a disjoint set. So is disjoint will return false in this case. So we'll see whether you are able to get false for this as well. Yes, I am getting false for is disjoint as well. Okay. One another command, discard, we did not check it. Its purpose is similar to remove, but in case of remove we would have got an error when we tried to remove a value, but in this case it will not throw a error. So to understand this, let me try to remove a value of 9 from S1. There is no value 9 in the set and it did not throw any error as well in this place. So that is the purpose of discard. But if I had used remove here and try to execute it, it will throw a error of this kind, key error 9. 9 is not present in set 1. So that is the difference between discard and remove. So with this I will end this particular lecture on set. In the next video we will continue with dictionary data type.